Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the DJ Sessions presents the Virtual Sessions. I'm your host, Darren, and right now I'm sitting in the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington, and coming in all the way from Paris, France. We have Dr. Ushu today. Doctor, how's it doing today? There's a doctor in
Hi,
the house.
hi.
How you doing? Well, thank
I'm
you so
I'm
much.
cool.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here today. And I know it's a little late over there, and but we're halfway around the world with each other. So
Let's
again, thank you
go.
for coming on the show. First and foremost, I know that you're new. I haven't, I know you're overseas, and I don't know too much about you, but tell our DJ Sessions fans, where does your artist name come from?
So that's the question that comes to most. So Doctor Ushu, it's a mixture of things. I was like DCR at the time, and it was just only literally like the initials of my name. So I wanted to change to go to a dubstep and bass music more related kind of like you know project. So I changed my name to Doctor Ushu, which is the doctor comes from my grandpa. So my grandpa wanted me always wanted me to actually become a doctor, but I never really wanted to, you know, because yeah, and then I was like, yeah, so let me just like make like a tribute to my grandpa, and then if you actually check it with my name and like my family's name, my initials will be without the C will be DR, so it kind of like you know matches with my initials, and then Ushu in Japanese, and not written in the same way, means universe. So it's more like, and then I wanted like to my listeners and like my music actually be my universe. So I just wanted like to actually blend everything and make everything my universe. So kind of Doctor Rush is kind of like Danny's universe, more like.
Yeah, and if you could describe your music in 3 words, what would you call it?
I would say that's tough. That's really tough.
It's really tough.
Um,
That's 3 words.
yeah, but I would say it's kind of like emotional in both ways, which means like it could be sad, it could be happy, it could be very like raging, very like energetic. So emotional, surely galactic, and the third word is it's kind of hard to find it. Emotional, galactic, and you know what? I'm gonna put another word like to energetic, because it's like very, you know, very like all over the place, kind of.
Well, I was listening to your latest release, Don't Let Me Down, which was released on Monster Cat not too long ago.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We love the team over there at MC and Monster Cat. Worked with Jacob Stone or Jacob Henry, sorry, another friend. Too many Jacobs in the world, but Jacob Henry, just did an interview with him recently and worked with the team over there at ADE last year. And super excited for you. That must be a pretty big thing. Was that your first release with Monster Cat, or had you released with them before?
So this one was like my fourth release. Now my first release was Save Me last year in August last year, and then we did Madara with Ivory, and then this year we released Love Me, and now this is not what Don't Let Me Down. So it's my fourth one.
Nice. How long does it take you to finish a production on average?
Uh, it's kind of weird, but like I'll say, as a whole, I would say like 3 hours.
Hmm?
But yeah,
All right,
it's
that's pretty quick.
yeah, it was super quick, and I kind of have like this ability of making my projects a little bit more faster than other people, and a lot of people actually also finish it really fast. But yeah, like I kind of like tend to finish my projects really fast. And yeah, I would say like 3 4 hours of project file, of course. Then there's mixing and mastering, and but like the production was there at 3 hours of work.
What's the longest time you ever spent consecutively working on a track in the studio?
I'll say, i think I think the longest that I've done, it was like 20 hours. 20 hours, but that's definitely like nothing compared to other people's, like, you know like project times. But yeah, like it was 20 hours, and I was really upset about that. Like, fuck, not gonna lie, but yeah, it's super cool.
How many tracks do you end up producing in a month, and how many actually end up being released on average? Because it sounds like you could be producing a couple tracks a day.
It sounds like it. Like, I mean, there was a time, like, during pandemic, and like right after it, uh there was a time that I could finish like 3 tracks in a month. Because my inspiration was kind of weird. I mean, it's kind of weird too. Like, I can finish a track for 4 hours or 3 hours, but like the time that I will actually have to actually go jumping in another cool idea will like spend like I don't know, like 2 months for it. So it's kind of weird, but yeah, I would say 2 to 3 tracks in a month.
Okay. How many of
That's
those end up being released?
I mean, that's the problem. uh I don't know. From every track, every finished track that I actually released, I kind of like released every single one. Uh, but yeah, some projects that I do actually they end up not getting released at all, or
Mhm.
never getting released at all.
How- Um, are you a hardware producer or software producer, or both?
Software producer.
What's your favorite program you like to use when you're doing all this?
So my DAW, it's definitely like FL Studio. It's
Mhm.
literally my it has been with me like since I'm like, I don't know, 16 years old. So I'm never like going back to it.
No, I was using Fruity Loops 3 back in 2000,
Oh my
to
god.
play around with it back then. I mean, I just loved it because I love sequencers, but then I started getting a little bit into hardware at
Yeah,
the time, and I got a Roland MC505 and a Roland SP808
yeah.
sequencer and sampler. MIDI does together, and we just play around with it. I'm not a producer in any way, shape, or form, but we'd just be sitting back. I'd be able to make music on the fly with MIDI and sampling and doing everything cool. And you could record on what were those called? Not were they zip? There were 100 megabyte discs. So it was
Then
like they went to floppy. It was right before you could really burn on CDs, and it would use 100 megabyte. I think they called it a zip disk, is what it was called. But you could put the zip disk in the machine and it stored all your samples and your beats and stuff. And it was kind of fun stuff. But just dabbling. Then I started working for Apple, and Logic is my choice to go to. Just because I'm an Apple guy. So to be each their own. Making music is
yeah.
making music, and whether hardware or software, it's what comes out at the end of the day. Here's a question for you. Being with Monster Cat,
Yeah.
what's the most important thing that record labels should do for their artists, and are they doing a good job with that?
So being with Monster Cat has been like super crazy in a way that there's literally a team for everything. I know, I get like, not every record label actually has, the means to actually have a team for everything. But like something that is super good with Monster Cat, it's like they have a specifically a team for everything. Like if you like for the marketing area, for the AR, for just simple other stuff. They have literally have like someone to handle every single stuff that you actually need. You know what I mean? And that's super cool because sometimes you have in some levels you have like someone that actually handles almost everything. You know, and something and sometimes they kind of like forget, or sometimes they kind of like just cannot do anymore because they are tired. Because they actually handle everything alone. So having having a team, like an actual team that actually handles everything, makes the artists more comfortable, and more, and like they actually communicate between them. So it's also super cool. So it's not like it's not how can I say, like it's not over. There's no like like super hard things to do when you have like a team that handles like everything. So being on a Monster Cat actually helped me realize that having like a team for everything, it's the best way. And you end up meeting all those persons, and it's super nice to meet them, and like continue and work with them. It's just like amazing. And this is something that a lot of, I mean, I know that you need means for it and stuff, but there's something like a lot of labels need to do it. It's like have a team that actually handles anything. Could be 5 people. Those 5 people actually like have a difference of like make a difference from one people handling everything.
Mhm. Absolutely. I mean, I just posted something on Facebook. I'll read this, and it's so funny that people don't understand what it takes. But I saw this meme on friend of mine's the other day. It says, "Artists trying to be their own curator, press and marketing team, administrator, technician, studio manager, art handler, social media manager, web designer, application writer, archivist, and photographer who documents the work all at once."
Yeah.
And then there's this picture of
Exactly.
this lady like laying in bed going, "Bro." So I came in, I had to add in, I go, try host, accountant, driver, researcher, producer, camera operator, VR dev, sales manager, grant writer, trainer, editor, electrician, distributor, lawyer, and rights and permissions manager added to all of that.
Oh my god.
That's what I do. The people don't know what goes on in the background. It takes a team, though, a team of people. And, I have people that I work with that I can assign some of these duties to, but, it can get really overwhelming that people don't understand that, a DJ or somebody going out there saying, I'm a DJ, I play music, and I want you to do that all for me. Well, those are
Yeah.
people's jobs, and you gotta pay them to do their job. So,
Yeah.
unless you're a big artist making money to pay somebody, or you have a great label or a successful label like Monster Cat with revenue coming in, it's really hard to to not get burnt out. In the
Exactly.
industry, I've been burnt out a few times in the industry, just trying to do everything myself until I got a clear, set path and said, okay, this is the time of day that I work. These are the projects I take on. I don't get overwhelmed here, and I get my sleep at night, and I get to have a
Yeah.
life of some sorts.
Yeah. Or even like get the sunlight on you for when you wake up or something, instead of like what like wildly going to work on your computer right after. That's the best. That's the best, like actually like idea. Having a team and like handle everything.
Yeah, exactly. And when you have a lot of team of people, and it might be 1 hour a week that they have to spend working on your stuff. But if you had a team of 10 people, but you'd have to take all that 10 hours of work a week on you, instead
Yeah.
of divvying it up, and it's only a 1 hour week for each of those people, it spreads it out, and it makes it a lot more accommodating to be an artist. So congratulations again on that. But there's something else that we want to talk about that's congratulatory to you on. Forbidden Kingdom, your first
Yay.
ever US debut. Tell us about that and how you got involved with that event.
So it was super kind of like super easy. So we have been working on the visa for a couple months now with Prism agency, and we just literally had a booking offer for the states, and we were like, oh my god, it's Forbidden Kingdom. You know what I mean? It's like a big festival, and I was like so happy and like so actually scared about like getting these big bookings, because I was like, oh my god, like it could be, and I mean it will be like my first US show, and it's so, I mean, it's so scary because like for someone that like actually like still makes music, making like yeah, so it still makes music in my room, in my bedroom, and like go and make and play shows like around the Europe and like going overseas. It's like amazing, because like it's amazing and scary at the same time, because you don't know what will be waiting you, and like what is happening, and the culture, like, I mean, we got a lot of culture of like United States, from movies, and literally like world actually thought like taught us like how America kind of works between what you're never there, like you never actually gone there, so you don't know how's the culture even in dubstep. You know what I mean? Like there's a gap between European dubstep and like culture, and like American dubstep culture, and you're like, oh damn, like, oh my god, like it's happening, but how? Like what I'm gonna do, what I shall do. But at the same time, I'm back to backing with Sweet Tooth, like, and he's been like one of my best friends over the years. So back to backing with one of my best friends in an insane festival, it's just like mind blowing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm super happy about it, and I just can't wait.
Nice, nice. And what's going to be the follow up to that? Is there anything else planned after that you can tell us about or announce?
So we just announced that I we announced Base Canyon in like, yeah, it's like it's a big festival from Excision's team, and like you have literally everyone there, and it's awesome. And we have also announced a support and special guest of the Spaghettis tour, and we're gonna hit up like a bunch of cities in America. And there's a lot of things like to be announced too, that I'm super excited for it. So it's gonna be easy win. Let's go.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk with Spaghetti over in ADE.
Yeah,
That was pretty fun. That was pretty
he's
cool
super
being in the
nice.
next stage. I'd never been over to Amsterdam. I've never been overseas. I've never been out of the states like that overseas
Yeah,
before. So I was kind of excited to be over there and interviewing people from all over the world. Met
yeah.
a lot of great people. Got a lot of great interviews. So really cool stuff going on over there. Um, if you could change one thing that bothers you from the electronic music scene, what would that be, and how would you go about it?
Oh my god, that's a tough question too. Because to be honest, there's like a million things that could be changed in the electronic dance music scene. Uh, but I would say, what I would say we could have changed like the importance of social media. Yeah. Yeah, like how social media actually like is in like how actually hits in your in our in our community. I think that's the main point, because I'm pretty sure we have a lot of positive things with social media. I'm not trying to sound like a boomer or something, but like there's pretty stuff. I got known with social media. If there was social media, I wouldn't even been here. But like, there's also a lot of things that actually like uh, can hurt a lot of careers, a lot of like people working in the industry, and and sometimes like people just do stuff for the cloud or something, and it's more, it's not. I mean, I know it's not. It's no more about like the music itself, but it takes that human part of music. You know what I mean? Of people actually enjoying music. And like people sometimes they just like don't enjoy music because they saw somewhere on Twitter that this artist music isn't good because it's not technical. You know what I mean? So I would say, yeah, maybe less social media will be awesome.
Less social media. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's been a big one over the years when I've talked with a lot of the pre social media big name DJs that,
yeah,
it's just like it gets so daunting. You got to keep up with it, staying on top of it. But also in the industry, how people are engaged on their ability to be booked because they have a certain amount of Instagram followers.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
like you might have somebody down the road who doesn't care about using Instagram, but they're a phenomenal DJ or producer. But you have somebody over here and they have 40,000 Instagram followers, and they'll get booked before the person with the no name, the zero followers gets booked. Just because I tell my team all the time, you got to get your socials up. People look at those, they use those as a gauge of how the popularity contest is, and it's, I remember back in the days of MySpace, you'd go out there and go, you got 15,000, 40,000, 50, 80,000, 125,000 people following you on MySpace. Well,
Yeah,
then I went into Facebook in 2009 and I started adding all my friends because I wanted to get those numbers up, not knowing that Facebook capped you at 5,000.
yeah,
And do I really have 5,000 friends? No. I don't think anyone has 5,000 friends. Maybe 5,000, 17,000 fans, 20,000 fans. That
yeah.
that makes sense. But I wish, if Facebook would have capped it back and said, look, we're really only going to let you have 500 friends or, so many friends. I don't think that rush to popularity would have been so big as opposed to making, say, a fan page and then, okay, great. Yes, you do have a lot of fans. Yes, your engagement is there rather than your friends. I think it would have set a cap. Um,
Especially now, it's even more hardcore because you need to get like a lot of Instagram followers, and then a lot of Twitter followers, and then a lot of like TikTok followers, and then a lot of like, I don't know, like a lot of followers for no reason. Because I mean, yeah. And now like it jumped in, like when I started doing music, it jumped into having like a proper SoundCloud account, to having a proper Spotify account, and then to having like for having like a Facebook, like a proper Facebook and Twitter account, to having a proper Facebook and like Twitter, and then TikTok, and then like, I don't know, like Vine, and then Instagram, and then you know a lot of accounts, and you're like, oh my god, what's happening? And, I mean, it's cool for a lot of young, like like young artists like me, and I have a lot of homies that actually like got known through Twitter, through TikTok, and like that's super cool because it also, it's not, there's no bad ways, because it actually like showcases some talent, like some hidden talent, but like at the same time it's just like very like overwhelmed, like having like a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does have that impact. I mean, it's kind of that whole range. I remember somebody came to me once and they were trying to tear us up on our show, and they said, "Yeah, I went to your YouTube channel, and you don't even have any viewers on YouTube." And I'm
Oh
like,
my god.
"Yeah, because we stream and store everything on Twitch. YouTube's not our preferred platform. I don't like it, and YouTube has their copyright rules. And on top of that, we're not licensed with our music to stream anywhere but Twitch. If you knew the industry, you'd know why I don't use YouTube as a platform. You know,
Yeah.
even though I'm streaming to YouTube right now, I'm doing the interview, but there's no copyright on what we're doing right now, so I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about it being taken down. Whereas what we were doing in the past, I know I'd put a live stream up on YouTube, and Facebook and YouTube would flag it in like 20, 30 minutes. I'm like, why am I going to even send it there? You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And people just didn't understand that, but they try to attack just the haters and the trolls, and you got to deal with it. Like I think somebody said to me once, you're not going to be able to please everybody in the world. You go out there and sell water, and somebody's going to complain about it. You'd sell air, and somebody's going to complain about it.
Yeah.
You know? That's just the truth. But talking about influencing and influencers, and social media. Who's been your biggest influence when it comes to your career as an artist, and why?
I have like a couple of people. First, like actually, first person that it comes to me as an influence will be forever. It will be forever. Ivory. It's I don't know if you met him in Amsterdam. It was back to back with spaghetti.
Okay.
Yeah, it will be Ivory because Ivory was like he started like I always liked his tracks back in the day when I was started producing like dubstep and stuff, and then like I started emailing him and like we kind of like created like a super cool relationship with like I consider him literally like like as my big brother. So uh I will literally like he's kind of like my career model, and like I kind of like see him always at the top, every time he releases something, every time he does a move, every time he shows me a track, I'm just like, oh my god, like bro, I want to be like this. You know what I mean? Like I want to be like this, and and so he's been like a very good and super awesome inspiration and influence to my project. And then there's like the basic EDM legends over the world, that goes like I don't know, from Afrojack to Dioro to Martin Garrix and all of those guys that actually like shaped me, like made me love what like EDM today, and that's the best thing ever. But yeah, I have a lot of. I mean, I would say that all my homies are how all the French is my inspiration too, because they are we are just like together and we kind of like make everyone just go up, and we kind of like push everything together, and while being like an individual, like all while being alone, we kind of like push everyone up, and be like, yo guys, we gotta do this, and those are my inspirations, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going through your bio, and a name stood out to me. Ironically enough, it is such a large world out there, but it can also be a very small world out there. And you had mentioned OK in your bio,
Yeah.
and I'm literally just put in a request with his management company. He's been on the show before, but I'm actually just put in a request just to yesterday or today to have him come back on the show. So when I saw that name, I'm like, oh, okay. No pun intended. But, yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously that's awesome to have a definite support base. of people you can go to or talk to. I think that is when we're mentioned talking about social media. One of the things that has opened up, and especially when I was just doing an interview with Darude last weekend, and
Yeah.
something that was allowed to be done before that didn't really happen before the pandy, was that producers, DJs were able to get online and actually talk with fans and really like, I'm making a track right now. Let's jump in and listen to this track. Or like Robert Babazich. I don't know if you know Robert Babazich, but
No.
he holds an online session where he will let producers send his track into him. He'll listen to the track and then he'll go and give free feedback on it
Yeah.
from this, I mean, worldwide producer, big name producer, giving you that free feedback on a track is just priceless. And that wasn't happening 3-4 years ago necessarily.
No.
But
No.
not everyone in the world. It may have been happening here or there in small little pockets. But when everyone jumped online, they found their niche. And yeah, a lot of DJs went to, okay, I'm live streaming my DJ set. But what if you
Yeah.
weren't a DJ and you're a producer? How could you utilize an online social media platform to reach out and stay engaged with your people? Because DJs aren't buying tracks because we're not playing in any clubs. you know,
Yeah.
we're not, they're not really releasing tracks because there's no events to put them on at. So it was just interesting to see people use technologies like Twitch to do that, or jump into Facebook and kind of revitalize kind of what I would say a stagnant. Well, it's not stagnant. The word I guess I'm looking for is use new tools to stay in touch with their fans.
Yeah. I kind of like that's how basically I got more recognition through the music industry. It was like there was a time that artists like Mostep, Bendels, and a couple of other artists, even okay, did a lot of like Twitch streams, like feedbacking people, and that was like there was nothing to do. And that was like always grinding the production. So I would like finish a track, go and just like being every like streamer, like producer streamer that I liked, and I was like dropping my links, and Bendels found me, and then Mozart found me. We became friends, and made tracks together, and that's how I kind of like my name was out there on the industry. It was like, yo, you ever checked like this stream, like on my stream that was like this producer, and like that's how it happened. Actually, that's how I actually got a fan base to begin with. Was like during pandemic, grinding the streams and being like in every stream, like in dropping my tracks, and that's literally how it works or it worked before before everything actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it was so funny that I tell people this story often. It's you know pre 2020, I'd say, oh, we're a live streaming show that features DJs. People would say, who wants to watch DJs online? And then I'd say, oh, we're a Twitch featured partner. And they'd go, what's Twitch? Now I'm like, oh, yeah, we're a live streaming featured partner with Twitch, and we stream DJs and do interviews with people from all over the world. And they're like, oh, yeah, I know what Twitch is. That's really awesome. You got to Twitch it. Yeah, like, yes, I have for 13 years. Know?
I
But
mean, it's
the
also
word's
the
out there.
gaming
People know
industry.
about us, but it's just awesome. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh my god, I've to be honest, like there's like an advice that someone told me. That was like, don't overcomplicate like stuff. You know, even though you can overthink, you know, overthinking is normal. I mean, especially for people for people that are in the music industry, like it's overthinking is super normal. I wouldn't actually say that that was like that isn't normal, because it's literally like it's kind of like a goal actually. Like if you overthink, it's because you're in a good way. But like I would say don't overcomplicate stuff, which means that even your productions or even career wise, don't overcomplicate stuff. Sometimes you just see people that find they try to find the best way to actually like um, have more recognition through their music. They were like, "Yo, I'm gonna find the best way," and I'm like, "You can just literally like post your track and see what happens," you know. And I mean, of course, you can think about a conceptual way to you know post your track because it isn't like I would say 6 years ago where you just drop a link like a SoundCloud link and people were like, "Yo, let's go," you know what I mean? But nowadays you can just like of course like do a little of promo, but like don't actually like, overcomplicate promo. It's always about music, and until here, it will always be about the music and not the how cool you are or something. So yeah, don't overcomplicate stuff. It's like the best advice I've been given like every time.
Nice. And you mentioned something about, you used to be able to drop a SoundCloud track and people would be like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
go. What do you consider to be your biggest break that launched your DJ/slash producer career?
Uh, Wait. I didn't actually understand like what was like the best like the biggest like track.
Well,
The
not, it could be the biggest track, the biggest release, or the biggest opportunity. What was the one thing that said, I just went from here to here?
Yeah.
What
I'll
changed that? What was that catalyst, that the biggest break you had that made that happen?
uh I think the biggest one, I mean, that actually determined my career kinda was so was like in 2020. uh I released a track called Constellation, and it was a super cool track, and but like with the meaning. I mean, there was like several ways that made it like through people's ears. First one, it was my first track, like the first track that I released after my coma. And I remember I woke up from the coma, and like I still like 2 or 3 weeks, additional weeks on at the hospital. And then once I got out, I literally like just released that track. And people that knew me from my other alias were, they were like, "Yo, Danny just came back, like he was in coma, he just came back." And people were like, "Yo, who the fuck is Danny?" And it was like, "Yo, this was this kid." And then people actually paid attention more on me, and then it led me to work more and be like, "Yo, all right, now I'm gonna try to work on an EP." So we did like a lot of stuff, and it was super cool because it was like a super self-release tune. Like there was nothing actually super crazy that I did. I just literally like posted the track and be like, "Yo guys, my track is out now, can you guys check in?" And people were like, "Yo, let's go." And that's how actually happened. But yeah, though I would say between this and like my first EP as like 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 my self released EP was also super like a super cool way to people actually check on me and be like, "Yo, this is how how it went." So yeah, I would say that. I would say Constellation was the track that
Awesome.
made me.
And congratulations on the ride so far. It seems like it's been
Thank
paying off.
you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. How do you envision your life 10 years from now?
Oh. So 10 years from now, I don't know. I just hope in 10 years, in my 34, I'll be like living 100% from music, and and I'll get my family, like peace, from you, like from the music, the music's money. So yeah, I would say in 10 years for you. For now, I just hope I still do music and I still actually, be living off this, and being like, just chilling in my corner, making beats, and be like, yo, let's go. I'm super happy about it. You know what I mean? And that's literally like what I hope it will be in 10 years.
Awesome. Well, it's going to be a great ride either way. Just a couple little follow up questions here. Are there any regular podcasts, live streams, radio shows that you listen to? And if so, what are the top three ones that you would suggest people listen to?
Oh, so live streams. I like, I stopped like kind of like, little checking on live streams because like a lot of people stopped doing it. But like I'll say first one will be like Grocery Boys, streaming, like they stream like, feedback sessions every Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, one of both. They kind of like they invite people to actually, like, feedback other people, and that's super nice. And sometimes when I can jump in, I'll just jump in and like check with them, like how, like like the new producers tracks, and like how, like the feedbacks. And that's one of the coolest things that they've done. Also, yeah, I kind of check. It's not really a podcast, but like for people that actually like love music. I mean, it is a podcast kind of. There's Virtual Riot doing like studio time with Virtual Riot on YouTube, and it's such a cool thing for producers. Even established producers, they be like, oh my god, you do these tapes, because like, Virtual Riot, it's like a little, like not a little, a big influence to the EDM scene, more especially in bass music. So having that legend doing like studio times, it's the best one. And yeah, and the third one, I don't know, the third one, one of the like, I like I like I like to more to, I mean, they kind of like not the same, but at the same time, like this in the same country. But there's like uh Fast Music Factory and Gunfingers. They are trying to showcase you know bass music in Europe. And I did an interview with Fast Music Factory, and like they're super cool. And Gunfingers, they are homies too, which they're just like, showcasing bass music, and like doing like fun videos. Like last time they did like, a video about double drops. I was there as the crowd, and they were doing, like, they just put like Samplifier and graphite, and like they were just like, doing double drops, and at the same time they were just like competing with each other. And like it's super fun content content to watch, and to get like, uh, in the god in get to know what's happening on the overseas scene. Like, I mean, dubstep scene in America, it's big, but like there's also scene in Europe that is also big, and we kind of don't show it like often. So those two guys, like those two pages, are showing people what's happening in Europe.
Awesome. Now, one other thing, completely off topic, that I
Yeah.
saw when I was going through your socials today is I realized you are a big big fan of something that I'm a big fan of. And you were doing something recently. I'm not sure how long ago it was, maybe a few days ago, maybe a few weeks ago, that I've done probably about 8 or 9 times since I became a fan. And I wanted to ask you, how big of a Naruto fan are you?
uh, I'm a really big nerd of Naruto. Like I'll say, like I would say I'm a really big fan of Naruto. I mean, uh, I grew up with Naruto, and it was all like it was this show for me, And I was talking that with like my friends last day, yesterday, and it was like talking about like how Naruto actually have helped me, focusing on what's good in life. So yeah, I've watched Naruto from the first episode to the last one, the very last one, for like 7 or 8 times, and that's how big fan I am. And yeah, I just watch it all the time. I'm just happy to watch it. It's super cool.
A friend of mine back in, I think I want to say 2007, 2008 ish, he had them on disc, the first 7 seasons, or no, the
Yeah,
first 9 seasons.
yeah,
And I went through those first 9 seasons probably 10, 11 times, as I was waiting for new
yeah,
episodes to come out, new episodes,
yeah,
and then I got into Shippuden, and
yeah.
then I got so caught up, I'd have to wait till next week, and I just say, till another episode came out, and I'd be like, okay, I'm just not gonna wait. I'm gonna just stop for a while, and then a couple months would go by, and I'd start the whole series all over again. So when I caught up,
Yeah,
I could watch like 15 episodes all at once, all
yeah.
again. I've done that probably, like you said, 8 or 9 times
And
myself over the past
it's always
years.
fun. It's always
Yeah,
fun. It's just
yeah,
like super cool.
yeah.
But yeah,
Fun
I'm a
stuff with
big fan
Naruto.
of
Well,
Naruto.
is there anything else you want to let our DJ Sessions fans know about?
Everything actually was covered. Like everything was super good. But yeah, I must say, you know, for the something that I want to cover, it's more like the Frenching. I think like people sleep on the Frenching. I mean, they kind of like understand that French people are like French producers are super good, but like they still not never like actually go and cover up. And I'll say, yeah, guys, don't really like sleep on the French scene, because there's a lot of amazing producers out there, and yeah, they're gonna rule the world. I'm just kidding.
Will you be over at ADE this year?
Maybe, I don't know yet, but I'm happy to. If I go there, I'm happy to be there. I never been to. It's been a while since
Yeah,
I wanna go.
it's pretty awesome. And I know
Yeah,
that I hopefully the Monster Cat team over there has something set up again like they did last year,
yeah,
which was just really amazing. That they're just really 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 cool people, cool stuff going on over there. So thank you again, Doctor Ush
Ushu.
Ushu.
Yeah,
I hope
no
I got that
worries.
right.
Thank you. Yeah, you got that right. Don't worry.
Awesome, coming in all the way from Paris, and we'll
Yeah,
be talking with you in the near future here. Oh, by the way, don't forget to go and check out his Instagram at Danny
then Ushu.
Shu, Danny
Then
Ushu
Ushu. Yeah.
on Instagram. Awesome. Thank you for coming on the show
Thank you
this
for
evening for
inviting
you,
me.
this afternoon for me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All
On
right.
that note, don't forget to go to our website, thedjsessions.com. Find us on TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook. We're out there. Just type in the DJ Sessions in Google and you'll find us. Go become a DJ Sessions member. Be entered to win free prizes, guest appearances on the show, guest meet and greets, all that fun stuff. But you can find out all that information and more, plus 600 news stories a month, exclusive mixes, interviews, and something else I'll cook up my sleeve, all at thedjsessions.com. I'm Darren, coming to you from the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington. That's Dr. Ushu coming in from Paris, France, for the DJ Sessions presents the virtual sessions. And remember, on the DJ Sessions, the music never stops.